So this isn't the video I wanted out today. The longer format video I'm still working on. It has some pretty cool stuff, but it ended up being like too much for a single day of shooting and editing. It's on the way. I think it's gonna be pretty exciting when it's all done. But you know, I didn't want to leave anybody hanging, so in a second I'll get this camera turned around and show you what I'm working on. All right, so just want to give you guys a sneak peek at what's going on. So 6 of the SBS N-Wall 3000s came yesterday. 4 of them are going behind the screen, and then 2 of them are going on this back wall for absorption. These are actually going to go, so the 4 behind the screen are actually going to go in the quarter points, so about 30 inches high and about 5 feet from the wall, to set this room up for waveforming, or just a double base array at the moment. Don't have a Trenov at the moment, but I will eventually. But still, putting it in the right place now is probably the best option. For anyone concerned that the screen will shake with the additional subwoofers, I'm not really concerned with it. The main point being is that, number one, there's actually already a couple subs behind here, so 2 dual 8s. There's 2 more over there. And they don't shake the screen, at least the material. Now the frame is kind of a different story. That's why I have this piece of wood right here. It rattles a little bit, but that's because it's a kind of cheap Chinese screen. It's actually 2 different screen brands put together. The materials from one brand, the frames from another. But that kind of rattle can be solved with foam or making it more rigid. And plus, this screen is actually going. So this will be replaced with a Stewart film screen, Balon Edge frame. And that should be way more rigid and way more structural than this one right now. So in terms of how these subwoofers sound, I am just immensely impressed with how clear and deep and precise they sound. I mean, they're not even in the wall. I just have these 2 on the floor just to see how they sound. And just these 2 really fill up the room with bass. So having 6 of them plus 2 21s and a 33 is just gonna be just chef's kiss. I think it's gonna be amazing. And speaking of the 33-inch subwoofer, this back corner is where it's gonna go. The dimensions look a lot smaller than they are, but we do have about 60 inches between the wall and the couch. And obviously whatever depth we want. So it should be a really, really large box to kind of improve the infrasonic performance of this room. So the 33 is only going to go up to about 25 hertz. We also have a couple things working for us in terms of absorption. So like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be 2 of the SBS subs back here acting as absorbers. And then in between those subs is going to be a giant acoustic panel. So I don't know if you can kind of see the panels on the ceiling that I've built. So something similar to that is actually going to go on this back wall, except it's going to be on a diaphragm, and that diaphragm is going to flex with the pressure and bass frequencies that are in this room. Now, it won't absorb all bass frequencies, but it should be tunable to whatever room mode I might have. That should really, really even out the bass. Another thing we have working is I'm making this couch a giant bass absorber, and there's my dog. He's a bass absorber too. This couch is about 9 inches from the floor, and it's 115 inches wide. What that's gonna allow me to do is stuff this entire bottom section with absorptive material. Now, while that won't fix any frequency response, I think a lot of people get confused as to what a bass absorber is, and for the most part, it's not going to correct any frequency. It's just going to help reduce some of that decay time and make the bass sound a little bit tighter. So that's what this guy is doing. We'll have that whole couch as an absorber, and then we'll have the 2 active absorbers with the SBS subs here, and then in between it, so like 80 inches in between these 2 subs, will be a flexible diaphragm panel to absorb even more bass. And then to the left of this will be, above the 33, will be another giant diaphragm panel to absorb even more bass. So it should be a pretty good experience, pretty even experience, especially when I get a Trenov in here to make it, you know, super, super tight and not boomy at all. Unfortunately, that's kind of all I have right now. The final video, I'm still working on. I got some more gear coming in, plus I'm working through some microphone issues, which is why I'm using my cell phone camera right now. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll keep you posted when new gear comes in and when I'm working on something new. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching.